Hi, my name is Dara Marks Marino. I've lived in Flagstaff for over 20 years. I came here to be a professional mountain bike racer and stayed to raise my daughter in the mountains that I call home. I currently work with tribes across the country on air quality and climate change issues. For Flagstaff to achieve carbon neutrality, we will need a combination of immediate and dramatic reductions in our carbon emissions, combined with offsetting and natural sequestration. The great part is that the more we reduce, the less we will need to offset. But the less we invest in real, measurable reductions, the more we will ultimately have to pay someone else to achieve the offsets for us. Why would we want to invest elsewhere when we have the means and the need right here at home? Our collective past is shadowed by kicking the climate can down the road. The longer we do that, the more expensive the consequences become. It is true that our future generations, my daughter's generation, are going to be stuck with that bill. But if all goes as planned, I will be on this planet for at least 50 more years myself, and I sure would like to enjoy my time and be able to explore the ponderosa pine forest with my grandchildren as well. Individual efforts at carbon reductions, such as buying less stuff, conserving water and electricity, and reducing the amount of driving we do, are wonderful. But in order to make the kind of progress we must have, systemic shifts must occur. I can only make so many reductions in my own carbon footprint before I run out of ways to reduce due to many factors and constraints beyond my control. Some people fear that reducing carbon emissions means that draconian measures will reduce our quality of life, but I firmly disagree. Imagine living in a place where most people walk and bike to get where they need to go most of the time, and they can do this because nearly everything they need on a regular basis is within walking distance, and the pathways to get there are safe and conducive to walking and cycling. When longer trips are needed, or for those who are unable to walk or bike, shared, reliable, and carbon-free mobility is readily available. In this imaginary town, people know their neighbors because we are not locked inside single-passenger vehicles, unable to interact. Since there is no pollution, the air we breathe is clean, so our health improves and parents do not fear for their child's next asthma attack. Our healthy forests lead to clean and reliable water for drinking, growing food, and our daily needs. Importantly, in this imaginary carbon-neutral city, our most vulnerable community members are supported and safe because our relationships have shifted towards an understanding of our inextricable interconnectedness with each other and with nature. So, what are some tangible ways that we, as a self-determining community, can make real, measurable reductions in our greenhouse gas emissions? Well, we can start by investing in retrofitting our building and housing stock to make them more energy efficient, comfortable, and affordable places to live in and operate. This could also include retrofitting buildings and houses to eliminate the use of natural gas, which, unlike electricity, can never be carbon-free. We can recognize that the quote, "if you build it, they will come," actually applies to roads and cars rather than to ghostly baseball players. We must stop building more and wider roads to accommodate more and more vehicles. It never solves congestion, it only perpetuates it. Instead, we could invest in the infrastructure and systems to make alternative modes of transportation easier, safer, more accessible, and more convenient. A big part of reducing our dependency on cars is contingent on accepting appropriate housing density and infill. This will help us achieve complete neighborhoods that allow folks to easily access their most basic day-to-day needs within a 15-minute walk from their home. Yes, this is a systemic shift, but one we must achieve if we are to not only avoid climate catastrophes like drought, destructive wildfires, floods, and loss of biodiversity, but also if we have hope for our shared humanity. Some of these shifts might feel uncomfortable in the short term, but in the long term, they will lead to a far higher standard of living, one that is measured in units of happiness, interconnectedness, and justice. Just like our Pledge of Allegiance states, justice for all is a founding principle of our nation, but justice will only be achieved when we have a safe, stable, and life-affirming environment in which to live. Achieving carbon neutrality will not be easy, but the best things in life never are.